Let's go and do the Martin font in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this image really quickly, but you can go down. Etsy has a ton of sellers that sell the thing, and you can see it's right there. However, I don't know with these colors if you can change the colors once you've downloaded. I don't know, but they are, if you don't feel like doing all this, this is where it is. I've looked online to see if I can find the Martin font, and you really can't find it in like defont.com where you can download it. So what I'm doing is I'm just showing you how you can possibly do it in Cricut Design Space, especially if you have a party to go to or theme, anything like that. So we're going to start with a word mark, which is a great tool that accesses all the fonts on your computer. So you can kind of look at everything at once and see if you already own or have a font installed on your computer that resembles the Martin font already. And again, I know the fonts aren't that expensive. This is my goal in this channel, is to make sure that you're getting and having access to do it yourself. So you see how I'm looking at these things right here. I'm looking at the T, I'm looking at the bottom of the R, the M. That's what you're looking for when you're trying to select the one that is closest to it. And the great thing about word mark is that if you find a font that you think that it might be and you want to save it, you can just click on them. And then once you filter them, it'll store the ones if you clicked on and saved. But I found it. Gill Sans was the one I was like, okay, this is it. This is close. The M's are the same. The R's are the same. So I'm going to type that in once I'm back in Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to go through each of the ones that I'm selected, each of the Gill Sans fonts. This is the one, but right up here is where there is sometimes more options for that single font that you can do. And the bold is the one I was like, okay, this is it. Look at that. The M is the same. The A, the R, the way the R curves at the bottom is the same. So I'm taking this and I'm going to line up the Martin along the grid lines. Make sure when you're in Cricut Design Space, you're using those grid lines because they are extremely helpful. Then once I'm doing this, I'm just going to line each one of them up. And then as I'm working with them, because it's going to make it look more symmetrical. And I did have to ungroup the text. So I typed out Martin, but I did ungroup it so that I can have each letter move independently. So now what I'm going to do is, once I have everything lined up, I'm going to go ahead and to go into the shapes, and I'm going to recreate that bar that's on the bottom of the A. So I'm going to do that by taking this square and I'm going to shrink it, kind of squeeze it in, make it really small. And again, you can play around with it, make it whatever size you want, but I'm going to kind of keep it kind of thick. And you want to see where it's lining up between the M and the R. It's kind of closer to the bottom. So that's where you're going to position that square. So then I'm going to take the A and make sure that that's lined up. And then for the dot or the circle on top of the I, you just take the circle shape, squish it down, and there you go. That is the Martin font. I changed it to the same colors. I'm going to change the square to the blue. And then what I'm going to do is, and you want to make sure it's closest to the blue, especially if this is for a theme, you want to get it as accurate as possible. And then I'm going to take this triangle shape and I'm going to go ahead and position on top of the A. I'm going to change the color to the red. And then I'm going to go ahead, and after that's done, I'm going to move it to the back. So there you go. You can actually stop right there if you want, but I'm going to be extra. I'm going to take this square and I'm going to stretch it alongside of the Martin, bring it down, and then you're going to go ahead and just send it to the back so that you can see everything. The biggest thing right now is you're going to go ahead and after that's done, change it to black, and then you want to change your text to white, because that's what it looks like, and then two, is going to be easier for you to see as you're going through it and decorating this one. Then once that is done, what you're going to do is you're going to take a square again, and then you're going to stretch it along the top of this square, but you're not going to go all the way across. You're going to go ahead and make it smaller, but you're going to send it to the back. So you can keep it whatever size. You're just going to send it to the back anyway, so it's not going to be visible. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that triangle shape, and then from your Cricut design tool, you're just going to go ahead and take that shape, that triangle right there, and then you're going to change it to white. Once you've done this, because you're going to see how those triangles are lined up top, going across the Martin, you see, also notice that it is stretched. It is not like a completely perpendicular, or I don't even know if that's the right word, whatever. It's not going to be a straight up triangle. It's going to be like a stretched one. To make sure that you're keeping it the same size, just go ahead and duplicate it so that you know for a fact that this is the exact same size, because you want to make sure that it's even going all the way across the entire thing until it looks like this. And then what you see those little squiggle lines at the bottom. That is another factor that you want to turn in. That is part of the logo. So what I'm doing is I'm going into the Cricut Design images and I'm creating or choosing any little squiggly line that looks like it's going to follow the same shape, like this one. That looks like it's going to follow the same shape as the Martin logo. So there's two that I picked out, but I thought this one was the best one. And the great thing about this is that you can go ahead and manipulate the image. So you can make it skinnier, you can make it shorter. Like right now, I'm actually going to, I believe after I've positioned it, I'm going to make it a little bit thinner because you want to make sure it's looking almost exactly like the design. It doesn't have to be precise, but you just still want to make it to where it's as close as possible as you can get it to the original design. So be sure to play around with this because this is the really fun part. It makes it be like, oh my God, boom, bam, in your face, because of the fact that, hey, you made it look almost identical. So I went ahead and duplicated that because again, it's not long enough, and I'm just going to go ahead and line those up. Don't worry about welding it or anything. You're just going to take it and select that piece and the back square, so that black square. Once you have those two, and I'm finding it on the side panel, I'm going to go ahead and slice that out and then remove the unwanted layers, and then you're left with that. Then you're just going to go ahead and do it again. So you're going to select that black square and that squiggle line, and then you're going to delete them, move that square to the back, and there you have it. You got the Martin logo. You didn't have to pay no one. You did it yourself. Rock on. See you on the next video.